Welcome to the Spend It Forward channel. We're here to kick it with Anja and Serenad. And we're going to talk about their project. It's called Sibel's Journey. And it's a really, really important project. And we're here to hope to help them raise money for the project with our platform. And so let me just introduce Anja and also Serenad. We were talking just before we got started, about your project and how important it is in terms of queer understanding, gender and identification, and we really are super excited about the project. And in fact, that was when we started working with our media partner, and it's a sponsor, PYKE. It was one of the selling points that we sold to them in terms of like projects that we're working on, especially because they had their kind of mood board and their storyboard about their characters that drink their product. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's great. So when those characters come to Germany and come to Berlin, they're going to meet Sibel's friends. I always said that if you ever see a unicorn walking down the street and you follow it, it's going to take you to a magical place. And those unicorns are basically where the tastemakers live, where the influencers are. And a lot of them, a good majority of them are women, feminists, and they're also from the queer community, trans community, and they're the ones that are influencing what we drink, what we wear, how we look. So tell us a little bit about how you came to develop the project and how you guys came to work together, because I watched the video. So it's a team of 5. Well, 6 including Sibel.
Part of the team already developed a game, educational game for kids last year. And we thought that we could use the technology of this game to develop another educational game for kids. And we came together and then we sat down and we thought, okay, we need to have a game for gender and sexuality and consent, because this is computer games are a good format to talk about for kids to learn about these topics, because it gives a chance for them to be alone, experience this alone, no awkward conversations as parents maybe.
And looking at it, I got a feeling or a sense that it's also a way to educate the parents as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because I think that's the hardest part. I mean, like I had a different type of mother. I couldn't get her to stop talking about sex, and she was I grew up watching drag shows, so I got a completely different orientation.
Yeah.
It was like gender overload and drag queens. But I find that the one thing that I never wanted to talk to my parents about was sex and sexuality. It was something that was very private. Whereas if you have a game or the animation kind of takes down some walls, so that at least they're explaining the game as opposed to talking to them about it.
And I think there is also no other game like that on the market.
Not an educational one.
Not an educational one. So it's a really big chance.
I mean, there are lots of games now that have queer characters, which wasn't the case like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's changing a lot, but like in a form of like educational game for kids.
Now tell us about the other team members that you have in there. What are they different aspects of the project that they're working on?
Well, we have 2 writers who are also professors of gender and queer studies in different universities. We have those are Luca and Beaudin, and we have Grit, our game designer.
Yeah. So we have 10 people.
It's an educational tool, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get it to the public? Is it free? Is it going to be marketed through school channels? What is the strategy to get children in front of this game?
That's the tricky
There are different ways
Mm-hmm.
we have to do. So first of all, we have to put it on the market.
Because we got the initial funding from Median Board and
therefore we have to raise money.
Yeah,
with it.
exactly.
So that's why we have to put it on the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea is actually to get it like later on, get it in schools for free for kids. So that's why we're trying to make collaborations with also organizations who already work with schools and already work with youth organizations.
Yeah.
For us, it's really kind of non-profit thing.
Right.
So it's a really hard project we are working on.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us just working without money from the beginning.
Yeah.
So right now we are us for example, but also right now we are working without money. Every one of us, I think. So we don't have any marketing agency, PR agency.
Right.
So it's really like knocking on everyone's door saying hi. But everybody we're talking to is like, it's amazing, we love it, we want to have it, but money?
I know.
We have gender identity, sexual desire, consent, healthy relationships, communication. But we have an intersectional approach, so we are also talking about bodies, and we're talking about people, the special struggles of migrant queer people, or like people of color. We're talking about also body image and fat liberation movement and stuff.
I saw
like
that.
that.
Yeah, I like that character
Yeah,
because I'm feeling it.
it's amazing.
These are our main 4 topics for now.
And the ones you'd like to explore?
We want to more focus on ableism and racism and bullying.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but also with this is going to be continuing in the intersectional approach, and so the same topics are continuing on, also about gender identity and sexuality, and maybe
what you're doing with your game, Spill's Journey, is that it's about the messaging. How can we educate people in a playful way? Because I do think messaging is very important.
Thank you. We are also
I mean, I also think that's the important thing, that we want to bring it into the schools, because also these topics in schools are still with the finger. It's like they're learning with the finger and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a big problem, I think, also in the school system, especially also in Germany. So I think that's why it's so important to bring it especially into the school system.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Well, let's do
Which
it.
is a bit too wishful thinking for Turkey. I mean, but we've been also. I'm from Turkey, and we want to.
What, really?
And so we had the idea. I mean, we always had the idea to have the game in English and Turkish as well. Also for a lot of Turkish kids here. I mean, most of them speak German very well, but there are some people who moved also here in the last couple of years.
And they usually come from the smaller outskirts.
So, but also to take it to Turkey, and I never had my hopes of like getting it. We don't, because in Turkey you don't even have sex. Forget about inclusive sex education. We don't even have sex education there. Yeah. But then but there are also like lots of foundations working for it and try to reach kids, do the sex education in the correct way, So not in schools maybe, but like, you know.
Well, again, it comes down to the messaging, and what I think that's really good about what you're doing is that that's a backdoor way into children,
Exactly.
because and to the parents, but maybe they won't get that education at school, but they will download the game, and they will explore it. Or there might be a young trans boy or trans girl that is so overwrought and confused that might be able to get access to that game themselves and learn something about themselves, and that they're okay.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing that you can do with the game is have a healthy program out there where they can identify with themselves in a positive way, know that there's nothing wrong with them, you know, that whatever's happening is just miscommunication, and things are being perceived wrong because people aren't educated or don't understand. And that also sexuality and homosexuality and trans, I'm Native American. We had a thing called two-spirit, and if you were two-spirited, whether you were trans or gay, you most often were the medicine man because you spoke to both worlds. And we need to get back to that kind of acceptance and that magic place where people just are allowed to be, because nature doesn't make mistakes. Things happen as they happen. We're genetic coding, and this is just the way that it comes out. And even if it's sometimes environmental, that's okay too. Who cares? If you had something really traumatic happen in your life and you can't be with the opposite sex, that is also okay.
Yeah.
Who are we to judge?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So let people be, let them express themselves as they are, as long as it's not hurting anybody, you know? So be it. My